Hello everyone, Tim Game here, and today I have the pleasure of bringing you some more Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Now, before I get into the gameplay, there's a couple of things I wanted to say. Firstly, I have arrived back home after Christmas, and the good thing about this is it makes it a lot easier to do some live streams. So, what I'm going to be looking to do, either in the days immediately before Christmas, or probably no later than the 28th, I'm going to be doing a FIFA live stream. So, it's coming up really soon. If you have any questions you want to ask me about FIFA that perhaps don't really need a full tutorial to answer, or if you've got any follow-ups to previous tutorials that you want me to run through, have a think over the next couple of days. I will upload a video on the day saying it's going to be at this time, so don't worry about missing it. If you just keep checking me out on Twitter and the channel, you won't miss the information, and hopefully you'll be able to catch it, because I've been looking forward to doing this live stream for quite a while now, because I've been getting a lot of information, a lot of questions from you guys asking me questions that really aren't enough to do a tutorial on alone. So you'd be watching a heading tutorial or the crossing tutorial and mention something about heading, and it's a thing that I don't really want to spend 3 or 4 minutes doing a video on. It's something that I can just answer in 30 seconds when I can show you. So this is going to be a really good opportunity to do that. So if you have anything you want to ask me about FIFA 13, write them down, put them on the list, remember them, and hopefully over the next couple of days or so you're going to have an opportunity to ask me directly and see a response and see some examples. So that's the reason why I wanted to do that. But let's talk about some Call of Duty now. By this point you guys have probably worked out that I'm playing some regular 6v6 demolition gameplay on the map Express, and I'm using the PDW. And this commentary, I just really wanted to talk about the first couple of months of Call of Duty, because as most of you guys know, Black Ops 2's been out for a while and people are beginning to find their feet, and it took me a little bit of a while to get my feet in Call of Duty, because I hadn't played Modern Warfare 3 in I think about 5 months. I really detested that game. I think Modern Warfare 3 is a travesty, it's abysmal, and in my opinion I would not let Infinity Ward touch another Call of Duty game ever, because they've shown in the last 2 that they can't develop a balanced game. But the good thing about Treyarch is they have 1 or 2 foibles in their games, but over the vast majority of the time the game's very, very balanced. And I think the same goes with Black Ops 2, but in the first month or so, I've been having real problems with connection. I mean, lag compensation is in this game, and I wasn't a massive fan of it in Modern Warfare 3, and I think it has improved a little bit in Black Ops, but every now and again you just get these absolutely horrendous deaths, really, really bad deaths, where you've got the first bullet into a guy, you're standing there, you're shooting R1, and all of a sudden you're instantly dead, and you just sit there and think, yep, I've been screwed over by the connection. But slowly over the last week or so, my connection has been improving. The game has been crashing randomly every now and again, which isn't the best, but I've been beginning to find my feet and get some more consistent gameplay. And I think one of the reasons for this is I'm actually beginning to settle on weapons that I like, and the PDW, as most of you guys know, is an absolutely fantastic weapon, but I think all of the SMGs, apart from really the Chicom, are usable. The MP7, the Vector, the PDW, the MSMC, all of those are really, really good weapons. And the Chicom, it's a little bit trickier to use, and I'm not a big fan of burst fire submachine guns, because I think, what's the point of having a submachine gun if you can't have a high rate of fire? And I really should have killed that guy there. But the great thing about having the game like Black Ops 2, when all of these weapons are usable, it means that you can dip and choose a lot more than you could in, say, Modern Warfare 2, because in Modern Warfare 2 you had like the UMP, which was really overpowered, and you had the ACR, and you would see 80% of people basically use those weapons, and it was the same in Modern Warfare 3. The ACR, really powerful, loads of people used it. But what I've noticed so far in Black Ops 2 is every single game you go into, you see people using a massive variety of weapons, and this is something that I really, really enjoy, because I absolutely get so frustrated when people just sit there with the strongest class and use it every game. And the good thing about Black Ops 2 is it enables you to use a variety of weapons, because everything's pretty well balanced. And leading on from that, most of the maps seem to be really, really nicely balanced as well. And my main criteria for a map to be successful is that you can take pretty much any weapon onto it and do well, and Express is a map that certainly falls into that, because if you want to run your shotguns, you can stick to the fringes of the map like this corridor here, or you can stick in around B-Dom, lots of close spaces. You can use your shotgun well. SMGs, you can use them very, very well, as I show in this gameplay. Assault rifles, you can stay outside by the train, and if you really want to snipe, you could stay by the train and do it. So Express is a map that I think's really, really growing on me, and I didn't really like it to start off with, but the more I play it, the more I begin to see that it's a nice balanced map. And having all of these things that are balanced and usable is a really great thing in Call of Duty, because already by this point people had found out in Modern Warfare 2 what the most powerful weapons were, and they were getting absolutely abused. And you can argue that some weapons are perhaps slightly more powerful than others in Black Ops 2, but like I've been saying, there really isn't that one god weapon, and that's something very, very refreshing. But just wanted to talk a little bit about the class I'm using. Now I'm using the PDW with a laser sight on this, but you could substitute practically any SMG in here. Like I've been saying, they're all usable, apart from perhaps the Chicom I don't like, but you can swap pretty much any SMG in for this class. And the laser sight for me is a mandatory attachment on those SMGs, because you're going to be using it very, very aggressively most of the time, and you're going to get caught sprinting, and you want to be able to stop, get your sights up and hit fire when you've been caught out a little bit. And by having that laser sight, which improves hip fire, that really does enable you to do that, because SMGs, they have a pretty fast ADS anyway, so you don't need to rely on that stage. But if you are caught with your pants down, like in this situation here, I could just turn around, hit fire the guy, and then when he starts to run away, bring the sights up and get a nice easy kill. So the laser sight, mandatory when you're rushing, especially in an objective game like Hardpoint or Demolition, where you're going to be fighting people in and around a very, very stationary objective for time being. You need that close range ability, and the laser sight provides you with that. But what I really wanted to talk about for the rest of this gameplay is Perk 3, and I play with a guy called James, who you see him all the time in my gameplays. He's called PBJB989, I think his gamer tag is off the top of my head, and he made a point to me about a week ago that Perk 3 is by far the strongest perk tier. And I was thinking, is it really the strongest perk tier? You got Ghost, you got Flak Jacket in Perk 1, you got Scavenger in Perk 2, really good perks. And I was actually sitting there thinking, that is right. In my opinion, Perk 3 is the most useful perk, because when you're using a class like an SMG or an automatic assault rifle, you have to pretty much use dexterity all the time, because dexterity's ability to bring those sights up quicker when you've been sprinting is an absolute godsend, especially when you're playing aggressively. But if you do use dexterity all the time, you're not going to be able to use Tac Mask or Engineer, and all of those perks are really, really useful. So what I like to do, and this is what I've been doing in this class, is run a Perk 3 wildcard and run it with dexterity and Engineer. And Engineer is an absolutely brilliant perk, because when you're playing objective game modes, you see a lot of people throw Bettys down, throw Claymores down, shock charges. You will absolutely cover the objective with points. And what I like to do is, what I'm doing in this class, is run an EMP with Engineer, because an EMP can take out any equipment in one hit. Anything up to a sentry gun or a guardian turret, you throw that thing in and it's dead. If you have Engineer, you gain 50 points for every small piece of equipment. So if there's 2 bouncing Bettys and a shock charge and you throw an EMP at them, that's 150 points right off the bat. And that's basically a third of the way towards a UAV, and all you've done is throw a tactical. So by having Engineer and Dexterity paired together, you've got an absolutely fantastic gun skill perk, which enables you to win more gunfights, but at the same time you've got Engineer to fall back on, which enables you to throw out those stuns, get loads of cheap points. And paired together, these make an absolutely fantastic partnership in objective game modes, because you've got Dexterity, which can enable you to clear the objective, but you've got Engineer and that EMP grenade tied together, so you can throw it in, get rid of all those shock charges and Bettys littering the hard point at the headquarters, and then you sweep in with your laser sight and Dexterity, and you can take them all out. So this is a really, really very nicely balanced attacking objective class, and if you guys haven't tried out this setup, I do fully recommend it. But once again, just to let you guys know, do have a FIFA live stream coming up in the next 3 or 4 or 5 days, in and around Christmas. Keep an eye out for the video on that. But once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and as always, have a great day.